And a great memento from this visit. He looked at silk, he looked at drugs, he looked at tapestries, he looked at, glassware. He looked at many things. But nothing really just touched what he wanted in his emotions. So he thought, a clay vessel. What would be more biblical than a clay vessel made here in the Holy Land? So he went to the potter's house and he walked in. And as I said, he saw all these shelves around with all these different shaped vessels. And he walked around looking for the vessel that he really wanted to purchase. So he didn't see the thing that just struck his fancy. But as he got to the back of the shop, and of course there were shelves all the way to the ceiling, but there was a top shelf there. In the middle of that top shelf, there was a clay vessel that had sort of like dark rings around it in the clay. And so the wealthy man said to the potter who was watching him, he said, "Sir, I found what I want." He said, "I want to purchase that vessel there in the middle on that top shelf." And the potter said, "I'm sorry, sir, but that vessel's not for sale." The wealthy man said, "You don't understand. I'll pay you any amount of money you want, but I want that vessel." The potter said, "Sir, I'm sorry, but that vessel is not for sale." And the wealthy man said again, "You don't understand. I can pay you any amount of money you want. I want that vessel." And the potter said, "Sir, I am sorry, but that vessel is not for sale." And the wealthy man said, "Why?" And the potter said, "There's a story behind that vessel." He said, "That vessel was made from a lump of clay that I absolutely could do nothing with. No matter what I tried, I could not shape that clay into a vessel." He said, "So one day in anger, I just took the whole lump of clay and threw it in the corner and forgot about it." He said, "Time came and went." He said, "But one day I walked in my shop and I looked down at that lump of clay and said, for some reason I felt sorry for it." He said, "So I picked it up and I broke it around and said I mixed water with it, I put it back on the potter's wheel, and he said, I began to spin it." He said, "I reached forth my hand and began to shape it." He said, "It began to shape." He said, "I put my fingers down inside to help it to rise and to be hollow inside." He said, "What I did, unknown to me, there were little sharp pieces of clay in there." And he said, as the clay was spinning and the vessel was rising, he said, the little sharp pieces of hard clay cut my hands and blood began to flow out of my hand. He said, and for the first time, he said, there was something in my blood that caused that clay to shape in the right form that I wanted. He said, those dark rings are my blood. He said, that vessel is not for sale. The devil is the accuser of the brethren. He goes before his throne and accuses us every day. In essence, the devil is saying, I want to buy them. I want to buy them. I want to purchase them. And Jesus answers and says, no, that vessel is not for sale. That vessel is not for sale.